We're going to go over some old altcoins that have fallen away a little bit, but are starting to revive. Let's find out what these are. So hi guys, welcome to the channel. If you are new, please do subscribe, hit the bell button, like, and leave a nice comment. Yesterday's video I spoke about Terra, a newer type of coin, go over some fundamental sort of stuff, but this video essentially won't go over the fundamentals of it. I'm going to talk about why these are kind of cool and why you should look at certain coins when they're not so hot and what the rewards could be. But first and foremost, the first one on the screen is OneChain. I spoke about this recently on my socials. Do check me out on Twitter. I put a little one and then eyes at this because there's a lot of things coming out with OneChain over the next coming months. This, in my opinion, is a fallen giant. Absolutely just died. Like, not in a disrespectful way, just the bear market. Hype kind of just wishy-washied away. And it just carried on just growing and developing its infrastructure. Now we're starting to see some interesting kind of elements with OneChain. And when you compare to where it's been, essentially in the past, when you look back in time, you go, oh, it was over like nearly $10. And this came out in, the end of the bear market, bull market, sorry, into the bear market. It hyped up quite a lot and it obviously just fell off. In terms of like ROI, it's down 91% still. But they are actually developing some incredibly good stuff. So in terms of everything going on with it, in terms of them bringing out their two-way bridge for the two chains to work with the decentralized finance sector, they're also doing a few little branding changes and also, cross-chain interoperability with their chain is kind of vitally important. So when you look at the all-time lows, COVID crash, 7 cents, it's now obviously only 39. It's not really moved up much, but I think this has got huge potential to do well. Certainly when you look at all the developments that they've got coming out in the next coming months, they've got a lot of building going on. The fundamentals of this project have not changed in the slightest, and it should be spoke about a lot more. Everyone is hyping about Chainlink, Band, all the DeFi projects, the yield farming. This could be, and in my opinion, was probably one of the first decentralized finance projects out realistically if you look at OneChain. So there's a lot of things happening. All of this stuff is going live properly very, very soon. When you look at the developments and what they've got some incredible partnerships as well if you look at these two. So keep an eye on OneChain. I'm personally looking to flip this. I bought a bag. If it pops within the next 6 to 8 weeks, potentially, or even longer than that over the next, up to Christmas, essentially, with all the developments going on, I reckon this one will easily be over $1 in value, in my honest opinion. Not financial advice, of course, but, you've got to look at these projects when they're not hot. Another one to go on to, we're going to go right back in time to one of my early successes was Ethos, or if you knew it back then, Bitcoins. Back in the day, this is now Voyager token. This again is really cold, and you got to look at why. Well, follow the hype. Hype somewhere else. It's deflected right now. So when you look at this, where it's been, this has been some high levels. It looks like it's died, but it really, really hasn't. The Voyager token is a cryptocurrency broker created by co-founders of Uber and the executives of E-Trade. Now, let's go back in time. These have been taken over by a huge company. Huge company. When you look at the website, it is a fully licensed in America now. It is pretty much the biggest, cryptocurrency broker in America. When you look at what it is, Circle are a huge company. Check it out. This, in my opinion, absolutely a huge sleeping giant just sitting there, just chilling bean, just sitting there, happy as Larry. This will be a thing when there's new investment into the market, when America is a bit easy to get involved in cryptocurrency. This is where they will technically go. This is like, in my opinion, this could be like the Robin Hood of crypto, where it'll be very, very simple to use, very, very easy, and most importantly, it's licensed in America. It is a big deal. When you look at like how it kind of works and the interest models and they've got stuff, you can argue it's very, very similar to the world of crypto.com, the way it works. But in my opinion, it's majorly undervalued. When you look at the supply metrics and you look at like what it's kind of got already as its team, It's crazy. I can't believe it's so low. So guess what I'm doing after this video? Or actually, as you've watched this video, I've got a bag. As simple as that. I'm looking to buy because I want to hold something like this for long term. In my opinion, this is like a small cap coin that could become a blooming bigger cap, a much bigger cap coin. This could easily do 10x, 20x, 50x easily. Very, very easily, in my opinion. So keep an absolute eye on it. You know, 10x is literally less than $2 still. It's already been over, you know, $9, $10 essentially. Crazy. Another one. Spoke about this yesterday on the video. YouTrust, or like 2 days ago, sorry, YouTrust. Huge partnerships. Again, good supply metrics. Not on the biggest exchanges as well. Something to look at. This could actually go, if this goes on Binance, it'll, you know, this will change the game a little bit more. In my opinion, really, really good service, really good like e-commerce website in terms of allowing merchants. I spoke about it in more detail the other day. But again, just an introduction. I don't actually hold this. In my opinion, it's done incredibly well compared to the lows of where it's been. You know, and when it came out, this was my first ICO I ever bought. It did incredibly well. It did really well, and it's already still up. But yeah, if you look at the COVID crash, it was like less than a cent, and it's 23 cents now. Ooh. So yeah, this isn't the sort of thing to like jump in now, but it could definitely go a lot higher. But this is a coin that kind of highlights a point of look at things when they're cold. Keep an eye on them. I missed it, but I also took a lot of profits. I bought this at like 5 cents in the ICO back in 2017, sold it for like 70 cents. Incredibly happy with that. But you got to think long-term adoption. I'm talking a lot about adoption at the minute. In my opinion, all this DeFi nonsense, the hype will die off. Real use case of actual people using things in more detail in and around places like Voyager, for example, is a good example. Same with YouTrust, being able to use it, buy and all kinds of stuff. Look at the projects that are doing things a little bit normal. Could be a pun. Next one, I get talked about a lot about this one. Holochain. Wow. All the time on my comments, can you talk about Holochain, please? You've talked about Holochain in the past. Can you talk about it? Here's Holochain. Again, it's another product and a service that has, in my opinion, came out at the wrong time. Really, really good fundamentals. Really, really good application. But again, it's like just hovering at entry point ROI 13%. It's a decentralized application that uses peer-to-peer networking for processing agent-centric agreements. Consenting mechanism between users in Holochain. Technically, it's not a blockchain, but it uses the same sort of distributed kind of like ledger type technology, decentralization to allow things to work. It is a very, very quick system, scalable, and it also hosts a ton of stuff that could be very, very interesting. So please do check out Holochain. It is kind of like, you know, this could realistically like pop over time. This could get a lot of hype in my opinion, especially if like things start moving around and certainly into other decentralized forms. So keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on Holochain. There's a lot of people really rate this, certainly in my comments that I always talked about it, like in terms of like the words of scalability, low cost, lightweight, secure, all these kind of buzzwords that allow services to run faster, especially in the decentralized world. We know what happens when things get pretty congested. Ethereum is a great example. So yeah, be careful. And the last one, final example. Now this is not a buying opportunity. I'm just trying to prove a point here. Phantom. How many people have heard of Phantom until recently? Well, if you were in the space in like 2017, 18, you probably would have seen the crowdfund for this. You probably would have seen all the interest and the hype about it. It came out in the back end of the shittest times in the world, right? The bear market, the November, when Learning Crypto, my company, came out, when Bitcoin went to 3K, this is when Phantom came out. Sometimes coins just come out in a really shit place. And it's like, you know, it's like giving birth on a dirty street, right? It's really disgusting. It's just one of the things, it sometimes happens. But this is showing that it can absolutely go for it. And this is, again, relatively like a bloody unbelievable system what it has. And you got to look at how it works. All around the world of smart contracts, but you've got to look, there's going to be a load of competition, there always is. But you got to look at where this has been. Look at the COVID crash of where it's been and where it is now. It's done absolutely huge run-ins. And I often get comments on my YouTube, especially when I go back to my older videos where I'm talking about coins to invest in. And it's like a really, really bearish market. Like, it's fucking shit, right? And people are going, why are you telling people to buy this? Why? Well, if you were listening, everyone, you would know that this sort of thing happens. Cycles, markets. So when you compare some of my older videos, especially at the start of the year, I spoke about VeChain, Cardano, Tezos, OKX coin. I also spoke about XRP, right? I'm whispering, I know. But all of these were undervalued at the time. If you look at those videos now and you see where they've been, pop. Same with these. Fundamental research, a proper deep dive research, not so much fundamental research, just a fucking deep dive. Just get fucking in there, get stuck in. Find something that you really like. Keep an eye on it. Look for places to buy and always dollar cost average in. You never know what's going to happen, especially if those fundamentals don't change. Market cycles are key. So if you've never heard of Phantom, boom, higher, he's Phantom. I will probably go over some of these coins in more detail in the future, by the way, like a proper video going over them. But it is a very, very decent little platform, this. I could realistically cause a few issues for a few of the bigger ones. Now, I'm not going to say that anything's on top the likes of Ethereum or Cardano or anything, but you've got to look at market share. Look at your high street, look at all kinds of places, look at the partnerships on there. Fucking Jesus. When you look at like normal supermarkets and stuff like that, there's always going to be competition. Some projects will die, like a vast majority of them, but if something like Phantom has a proper build, the chances are they'll still be a very, very good company. They'll be a very, very good decentralized outfit that will turn over revenue, that will give people jobs, give people all kinds of opportunities, and investors something to invest in. You've got to look at that as an opportunity as well. So when you look at the likes of Phantom, and you look at all kinds of different companies and projects out there that are very, very low in price, and the market cycles do change, you got to look at the opportunity. The opportunity here is this is almost, actually, is it? It's pretty much all-time high right now. So don't just invest in this. This is here to show a point. Find stuff that is interesting. Find stuff that is like came out at shit times, that have got really good fundamentals, and you may find an absolute gem in the rough. Everything I've talked about in this video have all came out at rough, weird sort of times. One of them didn't. Voyager did not. That had a full bull run, and look at where it's been. That was a different company back then. It's obviously rebranded. YouTrust came out just in the nick of time. OneChain came out after it. Holochain came out 6 months after it. And this came out roughly a year after it, or that bull run, where the market was very, very subdued and a bit weird. Voyager and YouTrust, it went with it. OneChain and the other two, Holochain and Phantom did not. So it's all about research, all about finding stuff. But these, in my opinion, have got bright futures, in my opinion. I definitely think Voyager is the one to keep an eye on. I definitely think OneChain, for the short term, keep an eye on it. YouTrust as well. But when you look at the likes of Holochain and Phantom, of what they can deliver in terms of like technology, they could take away a little bit of those market shares of the big cap coins and really become a good investment if you buy low. So, au revoir. It's Friday tomorrow. Let's party.